So if you get a studio and you get a good hat, might be a
Yeah.
little crusty.
This dude don't know who this is. They should automatically be canceled. Pick up the podcast equipment.
6'7".
Like 6'7", like
Dude, I had 20 more minutes at this job. Look how good our president is. There's a video of Trump saving like a small child in Africa from a well.
I don't have smoke tip
Oh,
hair. I
man,
never
this dude-
smoked tip my
Hey,
hair.
this dude-
I was too busy in the garage
No.
making a future.
Your hair's fine, Duncan. We'll talk about your hair later. No, but
Because you never grow if you're just chasing your tail all the time.
So
Hey, listen.
Austin's agreeing with this
No,
on
no.
here. We got it on
No,
camera.
I didn't.
Bump them
Listen, I
prices.
didn't question nothing.
A lot of
Taylor Brothers, Chicken Flex.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? We are back on the Wolf Den podcast today. We don't have a guest. Unfortunately, everybody said we are too lame for them to be on our podcast this week.
They're out hunting monkeys right now.
Oh, God.
Oh man, here we go. No,
We couldn't get a monkey to be on the podcast?
no,
Bro.
no. Just being real though, we are just doing a host episode this week. That way we can kind of get out our stories and let people know, what we have going on and what we're doing and why we even able to do this podcast, I guess you could say. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. I guess I'll start off with who y'all want to start off with, Duncan or Austin?
Well, it don't even matter. Like,
I don't know.
Start off with you,
Why
Yeah.
me?
because you the host.
yeah, you the host.
no,
You Mr. Wolf
the
Den
host-
himself.
I know,
You the
that's why
The
lone
I-
wolf.
hostess with the
That's how-
mostest, or
That's
the
why I
or the
usually like
least, whatever.
having
I
a
don't know who's
guest and
counting.
shit on our thing. You know what I mean? I don't
So you
like-
can divert.
Yeah, I don't like the attention to always be. I like it.
Oh, I call bullshit. He don't like the attention on him. He
I like
definitely
to
like
talk.
the attention.
No, I like to
No,
talk.
no,
but I
no.
don't want it
Oh,
all
yeah,
on me
okay,
like that.
wow.
You know what I mean? All right. Well, anyway, I guess we can go with this and
Yeah, so let's ask this question. Then. What do you do, Nick? Because you get to ask the guest this. I've been a guest before, so I know what this is like. How'd you get started, man? How'd you get here? What do you do?
me. So actually, I just was telling some kids this today. We went do a little presentation for our ED White class, and the teacher ended up asking me the same question, and he kind of caught me off guard because I was ready to give him like the raw version, this version, right? So I'm gonna give you the raw version because I couldn't give the raw version in class. So
Okay.
I had.
You gotta tell me the real
you
bullshit
couldn't-
version
you
you,
couldn't get-
gave him though.
Oh,
yeah,
After tell the
I'll
raw.
tell you what I
no,
told-
I'll tell you what. Tell us the real version, what you told the kids, and then we want to hear the raw version. That
I
way-
told
I mean, I'm
them-
sure
I
they
told them the
appreciated
re-
you didn't give it raw at the high
Yeah, I
school.
told
That's
them
probably
the
for
real
the
version.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I
Yeah,
told him the
that's-
real version, but like I just didn't give him like all the explicit, like and all the things, like basically like, yeah, this motherfucker fucked me over. So I was like, fuck you, man. You know what I mean? I went all like that, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But nah. So what happened is I was doing roofing sales for a roofing contractor, and this was my first job out of college, and I was making 10% commission. That's what it was based off of. No money to start, no nothing, just
You were selling or you were working on the roof?
selling. I
Oh,
was
so you
selling.
learn percents right now?
Oh, shit.
Learning percents. I might know a thing or two about some percentages, right? So I was getting 10% off of every single roof, and I did 100,000, I believe it was, or no, not 100,000. I'm sorry, I did 750,000 to like $1 million or something like that in sales. So I ended up making like I think 75,000 or a little bit more than that, somewhere in that range. My very first year working, and then the guy that owned the company, and just the people I just saw wasn't going in the right direction. They had a lot of just things that they couldn't get figured out internally, that was just unorganized, things not being done the right way, kind of writing checks that his ass couldn't cash. So I realized, I was like, wait up, I got to get out of here. I need to go and find something else and find something legit. So I was tired of, driving all the way to Lake Charles anyway, every single day, because I was working Hurricane Laura. That was the way I was able to make as much money as I was doing it. So then I got lucky, and we had another hurricane. I got lucky, right? I'm talking about the weather right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's an unfortunate thing in Louisiana, right? So whenever we do have a hurricane or some bad weather like that, like we do make a lot of money. And still to this day, if we were to have a hurricane, I hope we don't have a hurricane. I hope everybody stays safe and everybody's stuff is good, right? But if we do have a hurricane, I wouldn't say it'd be the worst thing in the world for us, right? Maybe for the insurance companies and for homeowners and stuff, but at the end of the day, if people got a hurricane coming in, they making money, right? So
In some aspects.
in some aspects, so Hurricane Ida came, and that's whenever I was able to. I went work for another guy, that was just a construction company, and I was like, hey, bro, I'll come work for you, but I'm gonna start a roofing division for you, and all I'm gonna do is the roofs. Like that's what I'm gonna handle. So he kind of kept me afloat while before the hurricane actually happened, from me leaving the other company to going to him. So I was just doing a little bit commercial construct, not really commercial, more residential, home builds and stuff, and helping out on projects and stuff there. But then the hurricane hit, and then it was my time to shine, right? So I went out, I sold another. I don't even know how much it was. Definitely over the range, probably somewhere around the same amount, probably $750,000 to $100,000 or $1 million in roofing products or whatever. Roof sold, maybe not even that much with him, because it was kind of fast that I was in and out of there. But once I had worked for him a while, kind of the same things. He did some things I didn't like. I did some things he didn't like. It was we definitely butted heads because I have kind of that boss mentality, right? I don't really want to get told what to do all day by somebody else. And I mean, I guess people could kind of, if y'all know me and see that, right? So I know
You seem like a very quiet person.
Yeah,
so
dude, super
well,
calm
we
and
definitely
collected.
butted heads there and stuff. And I admitted my wrongs and where I was wrong on stuff. He admitted his wrongs where he was wrong on stuff. We still do business with that guy today. We still good friends too, and we'll do some things here and there if they ask us for stuff or whatever the case may be. But that night, I had quit with that guy, and the night that I had quit with that guy, I said, "Screw this! I'm never gonna be put in a situation where I'm like, oh." And then I had just bought a new truck too. Just bought a new truck. Had a new house that I was in, and I just remember I was like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm relying on somebody else to make it break it for me, where they could just be like, oh, you're going today, right? So I was like, I'm gonna build my own company. So that night I was like, man, what I was just thinking, I was like, what's the thing that I can do that I've been so successful in? And what I realized is I'm really successful in sales. I could sell my ass off, right? So I was like, I'm also really good at making these companies look a lot bigger and better than what they actually are. So I was like, okay, sales that. I was like, all right, no joke, no question about it. And I even went to school for it. I graduated college with a marketing degree. So I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna make a marketing company. I built a website that night, and then called up a few people. I had a client the next week, and then we still had that very same client to this day. So it just took off from there, honestly. But the marketing, that's my main thing that we do here, and that's what we really make our money off of, right? business to business marketing with a lot of local companies. We do stuff for a few bigger companies too. That's not from this area. And then about a year into the marketing, I had a friend from Pierpart that reached out to me. He's actually doing his thing now with some hats and some other stuff he got going on. But he reached out and was like, hey, dude, I see you got all this stuff going on with the marketing company or whatever. He was like, I see you already doing some content creation. You got the drones. Let's do some drone stuff, So I was like, all right. So we started doing 3D orthomosaic mapping and making, crazier videos and, doing 2D mapping, going check construction projects, doing thermal surveys, doing, we never really did any thermal surveys. I will say that we almost got in some trouble. Actually, we had marketed, but we didn't realize that you had to be, we knew
Licensed
that,
in
but
certain different
Oh,
things.
we knew that you had to be licensed, and we knew all
Wait, what's a thermal survey?
right. Well, so in order to give, it gets tricky because for some of these things, to give surveys and to say that you're giving a survey, right, or whatever, you have to be licensed and certified in these certain things to be able to provide that information. Well, we never claimed that we were certified or that we would be able to provide. All we say is that we provide the data, and it's up to that company to make whatever they want with the results that
Yeah,
we
the assumption
provide.
after that.
Yeah, so that's what we can do. We can provide the data, but we will never tell you, hey, this is what we think it is, and this is what it
Yeah,
is.
you,
And
you don't have a professional opinion.
correct. So I had some type of government situation hit me up about that, and I was like, look, we ain't even never did a survey, so I was like, we don't even want nothing to do with it. So I was like, oh, we ended up taking that all down. But we were just doing a lot of different things with the drones. We were doing deer recovery, a lot of lost and found. That's how we started Project Nova. So a lot of people don't know because this kind of got brushed under, but we still do it to this day. We just don't have that much publicity, I guess, just because technology is advancing and dogs and cats aren't getting lost like they used to. Back in the day, it's not as easy as putting an air tag or something on them, right? But we had started Project Nova where I had lost my dog, Nova, my very first one, and we couldn't find her, and we walked around all night and stuff. And if I would have had that's actually what made us get the thermal drone, because I was like, never again will I ever be in that situation where I can't find my
Is
dog.
that the Nova you have right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, she was like a brand new dog.
Let's make sure you were one of those people who's like, oh, we had Nova 1, Nova 2, Nova 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, she was
That's always messed up
she
to
was
me.
literally she was a brand new dog, and we had literally had her for probably like a month, and we were going to a New Year's Eve party, and we left her at my sister's, and then we get the call right before we walk into the event at like 12 o'clock.
That she got out.
Yeah, fireworks are popping, and they let her out, and that like she just took off and went running and stuff. And dude, we literally walked around, me and my fiance and my sister and her kids and her husband, and I literally walked around for 12 hours straight, like not giving up, like through woods in the pitch black. And I'm not talking about this ain't no woods, like no like little. I'm talking about snakes, hawks. We in the deep, thick brush in the
It's
middle.
Louisiana woods.
Yeah, we in a swamp, bro. And I'm walking with just trudge coming up to my belly. And I'm just, Nova, just screaming, not caring where I'm going, just looking for her. And then we finally like took a break, and I went to take a shower. And I remember like I was just crying and just like sitting in the shower, just letting the water hit me. Like I felt like my kid just died. And all of a sudden we get a phone call, and they're like, hey, we just saw your dog running. And then we went, we found her. And then like I jumped the fence, ran on somebody's property. I didn't even realize, and I was just like, fuck it, I don't even care. Like I drove my truck up onto his shit, parked at his shit. Some kid ran out the house, and I was like, hey, what's going on or whatever. I jumped his fence and just went running. I took her after her, and like I saw her, and like she didn't know what was going on. She was running scared. She started circling me, and then like she finally saw it was me, and then came and I called her and shit, and that's how we ended up finding her. And then ever since then, I was like, fuck that, I'll never be in that situation again. So
You're never leaving the house again. You're always gonna wear this sweater.
We got the thermal drone and shit. But then
I got the sweater keep her warm, so
Yeah.
she shows up on the thermal drone.
So what? I mean, just to keep it going though. So ended up, that guy, he came in and said he would do all these things, and he did do good. He had some knowledge and stuff, but at the end of the day, he wasn't on the same business mindset as me, right? He wasn't really ready to grow these companies. This is the time where, I'm still at the time where I'm up all night and mostly throughout the day, but this is whenever I was really at it bad. And, if you wasn't, we were starting at the computer from our regular day jobs. So we'd go do whatever we had to do during the day. We'd take a little break or whatever in between. And then 7, 8 o'clock, you better believe we on that computer working on whatever we need to work on to at least 11, 12, 1 o'clock, whatever time we need to work on that company.
And this was before Brant and
Brand
Jenna?
Jenna. This was before Brand Jenna I ever came. And this was like whenever I was totally by myself, just doing everything, on my own. And I had realized he wasn't going to do and put in the same effort as me. So I ended up buying him out of that company. So we evaluated, we did everything, put all the equipment assets together. And I said, all right, this is how much I'm going to pay you. Just walk away and go do your thing, go do whatever else you want to do or whatever. And so I bought it out from him, and I took on that company, and then I've been rolling ever since. And then picked up Jenna and Brand on the way. They was working out my house for a while with me, out the bedroom. And then they were like, man, we're starting to pick up too many clients. We need to get into an office somewhere, and we need to find something bigger. So I was like, yeah, y'all right. So I started looking around, started looking at what we could afford and what we could look around in Thibodeau. And then that's whenever I hit up one of our clients, which would be Austin. And I was like, hey, you know anywhere in the home of Thibodeau area that we can start renting an office space from? Because like I'm looking. He was like, well, hold on. He was like, I got an office space. And he's like, I also have another company that needs marketing. And so, you put the two together, and then this is where we at today, right? Yeah, so I guess that's kind of my story and how I ended up here. And then we started in here, and then we realized, we we wanted to talk about the things that we're doing and start to get a little bit bigger in the content world. And then that's whenever we decided to start Marsh Media. And then
Yeah, because we
that's
kind of
how-
built we did this kind of simultaneously. We
Yeah,
built
we
your office,
definitely, yeah.
and then
It wasn't even meaning to, honestly, really. But
No,
no,
we were trying to-
it wasn't meant for the podcast specifically. It was
No.
more for rental purposes. But then we also found quick, look, that's another thing that I'm not gonna claim and act like I'm this Mr. Know-it-all and I have all the answers and shit, right? We also do things that we might jump the gun a little bit too fast on things and stuff, right? So this, for example, right? This was meant to be rented out from people and all, but we realized quick that game in this area is not the area for it. So
No,
then
no.
we realized, all right,
The-
we might have fucked up on that and maybe
I
was
mean,
going
maybe
about
if you
it.
were in New Orleans with all the
Correct.
musicians.
Musicians.
you got all
That's the
sorts of
problem.
Well,
performers.
Well,
we
look.
have a lot of musicians and people that, but like, the
Podcast
problem
not
is
is
enough to
popular.
keep it filled
Podcast is
all day
popular,
long.
but nobody wants to pay for
nobody wants to pay the
the
actual what it
price
costs.
for what
Mhm.
it would cost. I mean, look, you see all the equipment, obviously.
We
You
can
know
rent
what-
it.
To be honest, they should though, because I told you I watch a lot of podcasts. Even you scrolling through on TikTok, and you'll see these podcasts where it's two dudes in their house on a blurry camera. It looks like they're on a Nokia flip phone.
Looks
from
like the
90s.
Blair
People-
Witch Project.
people-
Like,
yeah.
oh
Something like
shit,
that.
watch out! He's like, what the fuck's
Well,
going on? Yeah.
people don't realize that it would just take their level up, and people also don't realize the success that we've had and what we've been doing. I could tell you most of the reason that we've only been having so much success is
because of the quality.
specifically just because of the quality and the setup. You know,
yeah.
you look in front of us, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 FX30s, all with 50 what that is, 50 millimeter, 1.5, or what, 1.6, 1.8, 1.8, for whatever f stops. So it's just like,
Yeah, quality.
yeah, bro, the quality is there, and then it's also just the setup and the around us. I'm not gonna throw out the real numbers, but we looking like we around 60,000 or probably somewhere around that number, right? Or somewhere in that area of investment in just on equipment and just this room right here. So it's like to have this quality and this type of production, you actually have to invest money into it, and you'll never see somebody else that's just doing a podcast from their home actually do this unless they're making some type of money from that entity or whatever they're doing, right? And what we realize is hey, this wasn't a mess up, because look, now the podcast is doing, I don't know, what we do it is 300,000 views across all platforms just between shorts and all.
Mhm.
So the amount of people that's seeing us and all, we have people that's working at these huge oil companies or these huge facilities that, Austin, he went to Lake Charles the other day. They had somebody telling them they saw him on a podcast. I just went up to Arkansas on a bachelor's trip, and I had some people telling me that they saw the podcast, and we ended up making a connection.
Now, did you wear your hat on the bachelor
well, yeah,
trip?
yes.
So if you get a studio and you get a good hat, might be a little crusty, but it draws the eyes.
Right.
That's what
Hey.
matters.
Sheesh.
I don't think the audience.
I do have 7 of these hats, just to let y'all know,
Man,
because
stop
they
playing.
like to make this
Fucking wash that
ongoing
thing.
running
No.
joke. They're like, oh, Nick has a crusty hat now. He's the one that told me to start wearing it because it tells people that
I
like.
would
But
never.
at the end of the day, he was right though, and it was a good suggestion because people really do. They see the hat and they're like, oh wait, I know that guy. Like,
Well, you could learn
it's almost
some
automatic.
stuff from, and I've told you about my brother and all that, but learn some stuff from watching successful things in show business. And I saw a lot on his shows. Familiarity has to be in there. So with the hat thing, and it's such a little detail, but when I first saw the show, you had a couple episodes where you had the hat on, right? And I just found you guys on TikTok. I saw the setup. I was like, wow, this is like a big major podcast down here just from the setup. I already knew like something was different. But I saw you had on there, and then when I would see an episode where you weren't on there, you like weren't wearing the hat, I'd be like, oh, something looks weird. I mean, I know what you look like without the hat off now, but
it's almost like it was like
it was like,
Yeah, it becomes
if it's not there,
it's
it's
almost like a
odd.
staple kind of.
It's your character.
If you had been wearing a different hat every episode, it might not have been as jarring. But because it's the one thing that was said, it's like if you suddenly switch that to instead of a blue wolf, then if it was like orange
Or red.
or
I
it was
about to
red,
say.
you'd be like, whoa, what's going on? That's not the same. Or if the couches were suddenly different couches, it'd throw you off. I think you did have one podcast where you had the two chairs
Hmm.
close to each other. It was Nichols volleyball.
Yeah. No, I think that was the
No, it
Nichols.
was the
That was the
cross country.
cross-country
Cross
coach.
country, and
track
even
and
looking at
field.
that one, I was like, it was jarring just because it looked different. It's like that's not our setup. And like I was saying with my brother's shows, the sitcoms, it's always the same settings. Yeah, they might go a couple places here, but you'll notice when they do go to a new location that isn't the main house or the school setting that they're always in or whatever, you're like, whoa, what's that? That's different. And it could even be a little bit of a subconscious thing, but it's just jarring.
So you're saying even thinking about the people that is our audience now, it's almost appealing to them to keep that same, this
Yeah. And even when you're making the thumbnails and stuff like that, something recognizable, especially
Yeah.
if you're someone as big as say Mr. Beast. I shouldn't pick Mr. Beast.
Oh,
That's gonna
man.
start.
whatever.
But hey, damn,
let's
man.
pick
we're not-
someone like
we're
that.
not here to talk shit today.
It's the
We're not here to
example
talk shit.
everybody's gonna know. If it's someone like him, he's so big now and his face is so famous, it doesn't always have to be familiar
Well, I
for
get what
him.
you're saying, because look, what happens when you're scrolling quick during TikTok? You see one thing, you notice familiar face right off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for him, he's so famous that his face, you could pick him out on the street. But until you're that level where somebody sees your face and instantly knows who you are, you got to kind of keep that thing. I even think about Chael Sonnen. You know who Chael Sonnen is? So Chael Sonnen has the, I think it's good.
I don't know.
good-
I'm scared to even announce that now. I'm not scared, right? But like just going through comments and all, and people like roasting us and all. Like I said, I think it was one episode. I don't know who said something. They were like, it was one with the with your boy,
Who?
with Rand. It was the one with
With
Rand
Rance and them?
and Paul, and they said somebody like asked if I knew this guy or whatever. Like, no, I don't think I did. And then y'all kind of said who he was, and then I was like, oh, I do know who that is. Well, some dude like was on TikTok, went on the comments, was like, this dude don't know who this is. They should automatically be canceled. Pick up the podcast
That's
equipment.
everything.
I'm
You
like, God
cannot,
damn, why?
you
Like-
cannot look at comments like that
No,
and
no,
take
no, I
them
don't.
serious
No,
because
no.
there's always you could be talking about some super niche thing and there's going to be somebody who's how did you not know that?
Well, that's
you
like
know?
if you showed up tomorrow and your hair was like black or
Oh, that's going to happen in about a year. I'm going to
just shave it off.
Yeah.
You'd be like, who's this?
Oh yeah, that's going to be
I
weird.
mean, the other day when your
But-
hair was green, I didn't know who you were.
Right? Just throws the whole vibe, man. It's a thing. It's a staple. But Chael Sonnen is a former UFC contender. He's on ESPN now as one of the main commentators. He's done a bunch of stuff with the Paul brothers. He's just like a big name. He's done WWE. Just a character, right?
I'll probably know him if I saw him.
Oh, you 100% would. He was talking about Sugar Sean O'Malley. Him, I know you do know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dog boys. I mean, everything between. Yeah,
Exactly.
1000%.
And he was talking about personas and stuff that you put on for the show. And he was like, Sean O'Malley's known for the big crazy rainbow hair and he'll dye it green or purple, trying to steal my look. And he was like, the worst thing he could do is cut that hair. That's you now. That's your thing. Like
It's almost like 6'9" too. I mean, same scenario.
Or 6'7".
I knew.
I'm just, I had to do it, bro. That's it.
Well, dude, I saw a thing the other day, and this is we'll cut away from the business for one sec. Saw a thing the other day, and the dude was like, there's some kid told him, like 6'7", like trying to rage bait him, was
Mhm.
like, and the dude was like, bruh, you really think that was gonna make me mad or like rage bait me?
But
He
wait,
was like, you were like, I forgot. He basically went down the whole thing. Like, we grew up in a time where it was appropriate that 9 + 10 = 21.
oh man,
That dude, like, he just starts going on
all the different ones.
yeah, or like everything
yeah,
from like
21. Yeah,
dude,
the SpongeBob. I know
dude,
it's funnier
yeah,
than 24,
well,
25.
no, like all the brain rot shit since how long it's been going on, whatever. So he was just like, look, and I thought about Brand and all because they always like clowning me like I'm not up with the lingo or whatever's going on, and I'm just like
'Cause
thinking
we're
like,
unk.
what are y'all even talking
But
about?
hey,
And
but
I,
you
like,
know what's funny?
No, what to do is like y'all got adopted into the dark. I was born in it. Like,
Well,
but it's
no,
true.
you
it
were
really
merely
is.
But
We
you don't
were, we
realize
were
how-
born in the brain rot.
We
You
were
don't realize
born in
how
it.
much these
Molded
kids are
by it.
influenced by TikTok and stuff.
Well, no, by
So look, my
everything.
wife teaches. She teaches 3rd grade. Dude, these kids were saying this so much that they don't even like. She had to
Did
ban
they
it.
ban it at the school?
Yeah,
So having been a teacher, I 100% get that because they, I hate to say it, but the thing when I was teaching, and I was teaching 8th graders and then 10th and up, was something big on TikTok came and it was saying, "Yes, daddy." And the kids would shout that shit
Yeah, that's bad.
in
That's
class
That's bad.
5,000 times a day. Like not at me, they're just shouting it at each other. And you have to deal with that over and over
Well, that's
and
almost like
over
a,
and over again.
That's almost like a sexual remark kind of
Oh,
like
that-
that could be like cross those grounds. So like if
Exactly.
you hear that or whatever,
And
then,
that's what's even worse
you
because
gotta report it.
if you go and as a teacher, if you hear it and then you go and you say something about it, now you have to go talk with the deans, and then the parents come in. They're like, I was just talking about my dad at home. Like, what were you thinking? And then they turn it on you, and you're like, shut up, you little shit. I know exactly what you were
Well,
saying.
no, these kids know what they're saying. Like they,
Oh,
look,
they
they
know.
watch all these stuff.
These kids
and
are smarter than what they ever were before.
But
Like these kids are smarter today.
It
too much
also-
access. What's the phones and the?
And that's something else I learned as a teacher too. We all thought we got away with all like, because we said raunchy shit and stuff when we were in high school.
Y'all
And we were
didn't
like,
get
the
away with that
teachers didn't hear a thing. When you're standing at the front of that classroom, you can hear every word. Even when they're
Yeah.
whispering, you can hear every word that comes out of those kids' mouths. So you go, why didn't I get in trouble then? Well, now I've been a teacher and I learned it's because I know if I get you in trouble for saying something about
More
that,
paperwork.
I have to do the paperwork. I have to go to the dean's office and have the talk. And I would be doing that 700 times a day
Man,
if I was actually to
I
do
can tell you this:
that.
no school board is gonna hire Duncan again.
I don't want to teach. Forget that. It's not just me. It's every teacher. You hear everything those kids say, dude.
That's
It's
crazy.
like cheating. I saw every time a kid was cheating on a test because almost all of them do it. They all think they're so sneaky, and I'm like, as long as they're not doing it so obvious that I have to say something about it, because now I have to bust all of them, and then you have to do the write-ups. You have to go talk to the parents and stuff like that. And on like my last day during finals, they had a girl. She was cheating. I knew she was cheating. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm almost out of here. I had already been let go. I was like waiting for the semester to be done. And suddenly all the kids go, well, how come you're not busting her? She's cheating. And I was like, dude, I had 20 more minutes at this job. I had to go and do a whole write-up, get her like some kind of detention. I don't even know what they did with it, but I had to fill out all the forms. And I'm like, you couldn't have just
Sure.
not said anything? Oh, yeah. Fucking kids, dude. Your wife
No.
has 3rd graders. She doesn't
No,
have to.
I said that wrong. She ain't even teach third grade. She teach first grade.
But
Oh, so she don't have to
but-
deal with that kind of stuff
but
yet.
No, so yeah, no. She.
I was just gonna say like, when I was
yeah, I said the wrong age. She's actually younger. So
Yeah,
you're talking
that's
about
what I'm-
first grade. Like
yeah.
it's even.
Well, I saw these kids whenever I was in Hawaii. They were just like it was like some like the local kids, and they were watching on a phone like at the beach or whatever, and it was just around some of the other people that we knew, and they were watching a TikTok, and there was like they were doing like a ceremony for one of the family members that had passed. So we were just kind of standing back and like waiting, let them do their thing. So I was just kind of like, I looked over, I was just watching them watch. I was watching TikTok on their phone while they were watching it. So I was watching what they were watching, and it was like 2 little kids, and they were like obsessed over this little girl, and she was doing like a review on like another little girl that was doing like a scary skateboard trick. But the other little girl that they were watching was like around their age, probably like 8, 9, 10 in that area. But the little girl that was talking on the thing was like, I don't know how to put this to make it sound like the least not bad way coming out of my mouth, right? Like they dressed her up to make her look like almost like she's older, like, you know what I mean? Like gave her like
Oh,
that
yeah.
older persona.
Absolutely.
And then
Mhm.
she was like talking and like almost like, I don't know, it made me feel like I was watching a review video of like a 20-year-old woman reviewing a swimsuit fashion show or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it gave those vibes. And I was like, and
Now that
they-
that stuff kind of worries
well,
me.
that's what I'm saying. And it was like they watching this, and like it was brain rot content that what they were
Mhm.
even showing what the original content was. And I was just like, man, I was like, this is really what they got these kids on nowadays.
Well, no,
And,
but you
like,
know what the bad part is now?
the parents are pushing it on them.
Well,
and
not
shit,
even
too.
that, but this is where you go see the real problem now with the whole AI thing.
Oh, it's all
Like,
fake
look,
shit.
well, no, it is all fake shit, but the problem is when you got these young kids watching this, their brains are not fully developed. They don't even depict that,
Mhm.
hey, some of this shit ain't even real.
Correct.
So they're
Mhm.
gonna want to try some of this shit, which obviously it's not
Oh,
even real
bro, I
shit.
was so pissed off the other day.
But that's what I mean, honestly, that's gonna be a problem.
Dude, the dogs. That's what got me. And I straight up said, "Oh, internet's over with now." They had that video. It was like a 30, 40-second video of dogs saving like the little kids, like just
Oh, out of
Uh,
airplanes and stuff.
Well, no,
See
no,
the cat
no, no.
numbers.
It wasn't no crazy. It looked like it would be real homemade footage, like homemade videos
Mhm.
of like just like a golden retriever sitting next to a baby, and the bookshelf is about to fall, and then a golden retriever harps and jumps on top of the baby and saves the baby from getting hit by the bookshelf. And it showed like 7 different dog videos like that. And then
So what
at
are you
the end
saying?
of the
Lassie
video-
wasn't real?
well, no, at the end
No,
of the
I'm
video,
just-
basically, like
Wasn't
you could
Lassie
tell
the one
by
that
the
saved the
you could
fucking-
tell
Oh,
by
yeah.
the end of the video if you really like analyze it and watch it, like talk about it's AI.
What's all?
But-
Yeah.
Your regular person watching it, if you didn't like look at those little details and stuff, you wouldn't be able to tell it's AI. So I was just like, oh, I was like, this video had me like, I was like, damn, dude, like this is why I fuck with dogs. And,
And then you realize
Dude,
you
I-
got
dude,
got.
then
You
I
got
realized
got,
it was
man.
AI. I was like, oh, you mom, dude.
So
I
what's
was
worse
like-
is we talk about like the kids not being able to tell AI. Worse
Or
than
the one where
that.
you showing somebody like, man, check this out.
yeah, like, or,
Oh,
look
you
how
go-
look how real this shit is, or whatever. They're like,
Dude,
He's
he's
that's
like,
AI.
I
You're
like really think
"Ah."
about it, like,
That's the most
"Ah,
embarrassing
why
thing when you
is-
show
you know?"
someone a
Like,
video.
yeah, I know. I just want to see if you can figure it out.
yeah,
Worse than that.
that's the shit you would say.
And that's my go-to. I'm like, yeah, no, I know it's fake. I just want to see if you can see if it's
Even
fake.
worse than that, though, dude, are parents and grandparents seeing the AI videos,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
my
yeah.
my grandma, she used to like Facebook. She called it the Facebook machine. It was her iPad, and her iPad
Facebook
broke.
machine.
Never got her a new iPad after that. She's like, "Oh, I'm over that Facebook stuff." Dude, she would believe this is before even like good AI or anything. She believed every little story that she saw on Facebook, man. If she was on that thing now, dude, seeing like
She was the type that was gonna give all y'all y'all savings and stuff away to Abu Dabrakabla.
I don't know if she'd do that.
The Prince of India.
But
You
she'd
know
be
what I
like,
mean?
look how good our president is. There's a video of Trump saving like a small child in Africa from a well. And it'd be like, I don't
like
think
that,
he's been.
yeah.
I don't think he's
It's
been
like
there
that.
recently.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
She's like, but it's the video right here. It's the video.
That's what I'm
Look at
saying.
it.
Like, people believe that shit. That's crazy. I remember, this was kind of a funny story. So, this was before TikTok and everything. And it was when they had Vine.
I knew you was about to say Vine. About to
Dude.
say Vine.
Dude,
Oh, I
Vine.
miss
So
Vine.
listen, bro.
Vine
so
was
look,
peak,
Vine
dude.
used to
Vine
be.
was
Well, look,
peak.
back in the day, that was it, all right? So we used to watch Vine. Well, look, when my sister was growing up, like she would try, they would try to do some shit on Vine, and like, try to get away with it. So I kind of narked on her a little bit because I was like, man, look at this crazy ass shit. They heard her friends posting, like doing some wild ass shit, flipping off the cameras and shit. And like, I'm like, man, they gonna get in trouble at school. So man, I was like,
Austin was out here writing.
no, I did. Yeah, I guess I did. That was a bitch
Austin
move,
was
but-
the kid who would
no,
call
no,
and the
no,
guy
no, I was
cheating
like,
in class.
No, because like, look, my sister was acting up at school.
I couldn't get the cheat.
So look, I told her, I said, man, look at this shit. I told my dad, I was like, man, y'all better control y'all. I saw a lot showing him. He's like, what? Oh, look at it. So my dad's like, all right, I'm gonna tell her something. So me and Mel sitting in the kitchen. We go at the house, and we were sitting there, and my dad comes in. Ashley, let me talk to you. Come over here. This dude that said the cheesiest line, he says, I heard it through the grapevine that you got a vine. I
Through the
said,
grapevine?
oh my God. What? I said, what did you just
I
say?
heard it through the grapevine.
Vine, that you got a vine. And after that,
Mhm.
my sister was like, damn, bro.
By the way, for those of you watching at home, if you're like our producer Brant, Vine was something like back in the VHS days. I don't know if y'all
Not
were.
even VHS, man. And you don't even know what
That's what
VHS
Brad
is.
had.
Brant said.
Brad don't even know what VHS is.
You did have a vine? Oh, I thought you were younger than that.
You know what Yik Yak is?
Oh, Yik Yak.
what is that?
I
A yak
remember
back?
Yik
A
Yak.
yak back? Like the talk?
No, Yik
No,
Yak.
Yik
Yik Yak
Yak.
was like a more like his like.
It's like an anonymous
like
Twitter
anonymous.
for college campuses.
Yeah, I never had no
So
shit
it
like
was
that.
that went crazy.
I
Yik Yak
remember
was
Yik
actually
Yak in
wild for a
college.
while. Boy, if you was on Yik Yak at your local college campus, you better act straight. You better keep your keep your attention high, because don't be getting caught slipping, because you're getting called out on Yik Yak.
I ain't
Oh,
never had
yeah.
no shit like that.
But back to get on topic and stuff. Let's go ahead. We'll let Duncan go last.
Well,
So we'll hit or
Jeez.
somebody.
what you want to know
Austin.
about me?
So Austin, I mean Duncan, you gave him basically the same question.
Yeah.
Even though we had an episode where we kind of told Austin's background and stuff. For
Yeah, I'll
people
give
that,
it short.
you
I'm
know,
not going to
yeah,
go into a full deal,
give
but
give the viewers and let us know where you kind of found your success and where you kind of started from and how you got to where you at now.
yeah. So I mean, basically.
Besides meeting me and everything going great
Oh
since
my
that day.
God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Since that day,
Fuck, you better undo that fucking thing of that hat and open it up. His head
he couldn't rent a
bigger.
single crane, dude. He was renting backhoes. He couldn't even afford to rent cranes. Then he met Nick,
hold
and it
on.
just
Before-
all took
before I tell
off.
my story, let me tell you how I found dude at the job site. I'm like, who is this little pretty boy dude walking around?
Oh, he's a pretty boy.
Oh, you should have seen this dude. Had his little fucking what they do, what y'all do, y'all that weird ass shit. You fucking little smoked tip hair.
I don't have smoked tip
Oh,
hair.
man,
I never
this dude-
smoked tip my
hey,
hair.
this dude had
I
this
have
little
naturally
fruity
curly
ass-
hair.
No,
I have
this
naturally
motherfucker-
curly hair, and I don't
No,
always
he
wear a
had his
hat.
all shit. I said, what the fuck? Who
He got the little broccoli haircut going on.
No, we were trying to do crane shit, okay? Manly crane shit. We got grease and shit all over the place trying to put these houses up. This dude got fresh kicks on. And
He got
he's
some
like,
grease out
oh,
his
yeah,
hair
he's
to
got
help
a
Oh,
out.
yeah, I
camera.
was doing shit like that.
He's
Like,
got a camera
I'm
like
talking
he's in
about the whitest-
Hollywood. His hair slicked up.
Whitest
He's
of
got
white shoes.
He's got all this jewelry on and all this shit. And he's in the. I'm like at first caught me off guard because he's like all up in the way. We trying to like.
I have to make this clear. I do not use any hair products like you, and I don't do that. I really don't. I don't do that. I have
Whatever, at the
naturally
time-
curly hair.
At the time, he looked
Alright?
he looked very yeah.
If you
okay.
go back to the
I
first
ain't hate, man. There's
episode,
no wrong with little
look,
hair product.
you go to the first episode, you'll see I have naturally curly hair. That's just
I
what
wish
my
I could
hair
go
is.
back and get a picture. I guarantee
That was one
you
of
we got
those
some pictures
jarring
of
ones
that.
without the hat on, huh?
No. So anyway, so we doing shit. We rigging up the cranes and about to. And I'm like, man, somebody need to tell that dude he need to get out of the way before he get hurt. And like he's like over here like he's in Hollywood trying to film shit and
Jumping from one crane to
oh
another
yeah
crane.
yeah
and
he's
shit.
like walking around
Walking
like,
around on cranes and
like
shit
he's
like
doing
that.
that little skip thing because he don't want to get his shoes dusty.
I'm
and
talking
he's
about
trying to,
jumping on
jump through the-
jump on one platform
Oh,
from that
yeah,
platform,
man.
jump to the next platform.
Bro,
with
I hadn't
fucking-
heard this version,
Oh
man.
yeah, like a $6,000 camera in my hand,
y'all
just running
y'all
around
talk
the
about it
job
like
site.
it's like it was a movie scene every time he talked about it before. I never heard this. this
Yeah,
version
so
of it.
I'm like, well, I asked somebody, I'm like, who is that dude? And they're like, I don't know. And so I went and even asked one of the guys, like, oh, it's just some guy that does some marketing stuff or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's crazy. I said, all right. And then so anyway, after the job, we kind of that's how I started talking to him, like, hey, you work for these people? He's like, no, I mean, yeah, but not, directly. He's like, I got my own company and do the marketing. And so that's when we started talking. I'm like, hey, here's my card. Hit me up. I said, we our Facebook, I don't really have no traction on it. I said, I kind of just post some stuff every now and then, but want to get some traction. We started kind of pushing some stuff. So he didn't hit me up, but oh yeah, look, you gonna talk about like, no, hey, look, him back in the day versus how I see him now. Oh, totally different.
You had him out there like influencers in the wild, trying to film him on that.
Oh no, man, that shit was like, look,
Dude thought it was a little fruitcake.
look, at first I was like,
Thought?
yeah, well, oh no, it was almost confirmed.
This dude is.
No, I swear, I was like,
They done made that. They made their choice. They made
I
their
know. I
decision.
was like, look, at first I'm like,
Dude ain't never said a word to me yet.
And
dude was
that's-
one
that-
banana from being the fruit basket for sure. Facts,
and
like
and
no,
that drew you to him.
no,
Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
Look, that's what I'm saying. Austin,
no,
I'm telling y'all, bro. Austin's
No.
spicy, boy.
No.
Austin's spicy.
no. I was like, at first, until I talked to them other people, I'm like, what's the deal here? Like, what? And they kind of explained it. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I can't judge.
We
you
like
know?
money.
Yeah, man. So I was like, okay, whatever. No, it was good.
Fair.
I like money too.
No, it's crazy though. But that's
What you
literally
do for
how
$1?
the shit- That's really how the shit happened. Like, am I not joking?
Yeah, be basically.
That's basically yeah. I mean, minus some of the details probably, but I kind of maybe exaggerated a little bit of details, but it was pretty close.
But go into let them know kind of like your situation or where you come from though.
Yeah. So basically, look, kind of from I'm gonna give you a way back. I mean, I went to school, graduate. I wasn't really into the whole. I wasn't into whole. I didn't hit the books. I wasn't a straight A student. I wasn't. I kind of fucked around in college. What?
Austin designed some AI glasses back in the day where
What?
you could cheat. Where it's
No,
like popping
man.
up on the
Yeah,
screen.
right.
Kinda
No,
got
but hey,
down.
look, real shit. Hey, look, look.
Tony Stark over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Look,
Buy you Tony Stark.
School wasn't
Austin's
my,
like, school wasn't my thing. I was too busy in the garage
No.
making a future. You know
no,
what I mean?
no, for real. Hey, so I went to Nichols and I was like going into what was it, petroleum safety. So I was doing my grandpa and my dad, they were all into the oil field stuff. So they had some kind of oil field business and stuff going on. So I was doing safety. So I thought that was gonna be my career. I was gonna go into safety. I did do safety. So I said, well, I'm gonna go to school for this. Well, ended up at first I was gonna go petroleum engineering. Then I figured out that's way too much calculating and bullshit and math for that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
safety wouldn't have been a bad route.
well, no, I did go to safety.
No, I'm saying,
and
like,
but it was only a.
Well, I'm thinking about like if you would have owned a safety company. Or owned a-
well, and I
that's a big
thought,
money,
well,
too.
yeah, and I thought about it.
It's
so
hit or miss.
I went
Oh,
to.
it is? Oh yeah,
We-
because you was kind of in the
We
same
used to
scenarios
do
too.
that.
Well, we could get
Hit or
to you
miss.
too. Let's not take all the light. Look, we trying to talk about Austin right now, Duncan.
Yeah,
We're trying to steal the attention.
But no,
Let's talk about safety.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Your hair's fine, Duncan. We'll talk about your hair later. No, but so you know, the program was a 2-year program. I didn't even go the whole 4 years. It was a 2-year safety degree because that's really all they offered for the safety aspect of it. I said, okay, cool. So ended up doing that. And you know, they had these other ones in there like, oh, you ain't going for your whatever. You know, people, a lot of them in that school made a career out of it. But look, I'll be honest, I made it through the college thing by kind of the whole sales thing. I literally took like, look, it was all oil field people. So just like in business and the stuff we do now, what you do, you take people to lunch, stuff like that. So I had a couple professors, they all in the oil field. They all, you know, do business stuff. So I was going to school and kind of doing the whole safety thing and dealing with customers and stuff. So we go to lunches and do different things. Well, man,
Austin's cross curriculum right now. He's bringing work into the school right now. And
oh, listen, no, wait, no, this is how I did it. Look, I'm telling you, I wheeled and dealed in this shit. That's how I look. Hey, sometimes when these big, like, well, we had to do a project one time, like a paper.
dude just couldn't help himself. Hard to sell him that
Oh,
shit.
man, look, no, hey, one day, like, you know, the paper, we had this paper. I'm like, hey, I said, man, that's gonna be intense. He's like, yeah. I was like, look, I got an idea. I said, how about we go to lunch? So I had a couple. We go eat the Chinese buffet. Sometimes the kid and the other people in the class are like, man, where's he at? We eating lunch. They trying to wait on class. Hey, he missed class. Or we go like one day. We had a couple of them. I told him, I said, meet me. We had a little a boat shed with a catamaran. So I said, let's go offshore fishing one night. So I told a couple of my friends. We had 3 of them. Me and a buddy of mine, and actually 2 buddy of mine, and 3 professors. So I didn't know if they were gonna show up or not. Cause look, we had a test the next day. I said, hey, man, I hear the fish are biting offshore right now. I said, look, why don't y'all meet me at the boat shed? I said, look, y'all ain't gotta worry about nothing, bring nothing. I got everything, beer, all that. I said, we'll go fishing tonight. We'll hit the Mardi Gras rig and do all that. All right, I wasn't sure if they gonna show up. Sure as shit, all 3 of them showed up. I'm like, oh, hell.
that's cool.
I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So look, they come, get on the boat, we take off. We get out there, man, we start fishing.
Dude, imagine a group chat conversation between them teachers like, hey, you going to Austin Festival? Yeah.
Hey,
I'm going to Austin.
listen, I had one of my teachers was a petroleum engineer. One of them, he passed away, but he was cool. And then we had another one that always took the lunch. So anyway, all 3 of them were on the boat. So man, I'm talking. So we driving out there. We get into the rig, and so I said, all right, look, this is what we're gonna do. This is the game plan. So we start fishing. Dude, we caught fish all night. Look, we fished probably till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We headed back. We got back to the boat shed. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I told him, I said, look, these ice chests of fish, this is for y'all. Y'all can take them, do what y'all want. So look, they took the fish. And then I told him, I said, look, I said, look, tomorrow. I said, I know we got a test. And I said, in your class, I said, look, I'm not going to be in that class tomorrow. I said, he said, that's okay. I probably won't either. The other one, I said, look, in your class, I ain't going to be in yours neither. He said, don't worry. None of them showed up the next day. Dude. So we go the day after, and I was like, man, what happened? You weren't here? The teacher wasn't here? Got a test? I said, whoa, hold up. I said, I don't know what y'all talking about. I was sick. And he said, man, you full of shit. He said, you wasn't sick. And then they had this one girl in the class. She was like, that's some bullshit. I said, whoa, time out. See, that's where you're wrong. I said, worry about you, and I'm going to worry about me.
Don't rat on the kid cheating on the test. There you go.
Hey, look. But no, hey, for real shit. That's.
All right. We getting off track, though. I need you to go because we are running out of time.
Oh, man, you got to go?
Yeah, I need you to.
We go extra 10, 15 minutes.
That's why
I could
even
miss
with the extra
warm-ups.
10 or 15
All right,
minutes.
so
we
look,
still
I'll
need to get
fast.
I need you to fast
All
forward
right,
your
so I'll
origin
fast
story.
track. get through college, do all this. Then we're going into the crane business, all right?
No, y'all wasn't going into the crane business yet. They had
Yeah.
made.
Well, no, it
no,
was the rentals.
They made rentals. Gator
So we did rentals. So
I know this owns dude origin story better than he knows his own.
No, I know the story, but it's gonna take a long time to get to. I'm trying to fast track it.
Yeah.
So we did the rentals and stuff like that, and going through that deal. Well, my father ended up coming down with cancer, so kind of wanted to get out of that. So we ended up pushing the rental equipment, getting rid of that, selling off, and I didn't want to continue because the rental business is kind of rough in a way, man. You rent to the public, and people don't respect the equipment. Look, I mean, we had machines dropped off, totaled one time in the front of the building because they didn't take care of it and they couldn't pay for it. I'm like, look, I don't even want to be in the rental business. But anyway, opportunities for the crane came about. So I came to my grandpa and I was like, look, I think we can do something with this cranes. Well, anyway, so kind of fast tracked a little bit. We ended up picking up one crane. So we weren't even originally going to be in the actual rental business of it. We were just going to buy the crane and kind of flip it for a profit, because we weren't really crane people. We didn't know anything about the cranes at the time. Well, we were going to end up trying to find a market to sell it and do all that. Well, I started talking to one of the old operators where the crane came from.
Did that company shut down, by the way?
Yeah, they shut down.
Was that like the main company that was around here or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So, I started talking to the operator. I was like, man, y'all used to do a lot of business? And he's like, oh, yeah, we were always busy. I'm like, okay. I said, okay, well, that's... So we started talking, kind of figured some stuff. I said, you think we can still get some business? He's like, yeah, I think we can. So I told my guy, I said, look, I don't think we ought to sell the crane no more. I said, I think we ought to try to turn it into a rental deal. So we ended up putting the deal together, plan, and we had one crane, one operator. And we started he would kind of be the salesman, I'd be the salesman, and we just kind of pushed the jobs. And we started with one, and kind of kept going with it. Then we figured out, okay, man, that went really well. And then we started, I found a couple more people, and we get back a couple of other guys that were with that company. I said, hey, man, y'all want? He said, oh, man, yeah, we'd like to still be doing that. Got those guys, and then we bought a couple more cranes. And before you know it, we're here today. Got 8 cranes. 5 years later, and it's
looking at another one, huh?
Well, yeah, it's growing. It's we kind of, I recently had some changes where we kind of putting some new management in place and kind of different things to better, our procedures and how we operate, and it's kind of put us in a better position. I got some guys underneath me now that kind of, they can tell you what profit we're gonna make on the job before the job even happens. We've been calculating stuff.
Even another thing too, what he also has another successful company too that he have that's like through his family, Axis.
Mm-hmm.
Bring that one up that he also runs too. So he technically runs both of the companies.
So
basically.
I didn't realize until like maybe a week or two ago that there was a connection there.
What?
I had no idea about that. That Axis had a connection through you.
Well, he don't even talk about. He wasn't even about to bring it up right now. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah,
Axis does just as well as, if not better than Patriot.
Yeah. So no, it would actually. So, backstory a little bit. Back when I was in college, just before I was working doing safety, I was actually started out with that machine shop stuff. Like, so my grandpa had that going way back. My dad and my grandpa had that kind of started. Kind of when I was growing up a little bit, kind of like I said, through school and whatnot. I was sweeping the floors of the machine shop. So I knew all those guys at the time, and now, now they work under me.
Just
so.
imagine I went from
so like all those guys, I worked with them.
You were sweeping the floor 5 years.
Well, no, but that's the crazy part. It's not even like, it wasn't even like that. Like I worked and they kind of showed me some things, and then now I guess they seen over the years that it just become to where it just morphed into where, hey, now, they're like, damn, that's crazy. It is a crazy thought, but.
So Austin does well enough to keep food on the table. We'll put it like that.
But look, man, it's been, we've been very fortunate in, kind of putting the right people. Look, it's all about putting the right people in places and kind of, surround yourself around the right people.
I want to say one more thing on some of those things. Would it be Can we even talk about
No,
that? No?
no.
Okay. You know exactly what I wanted to
Yeah,
bring up.
yeah.
All right. I was about to say, can we? That's why all right.
Nah, maybe later.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about that later. I was about to say, all right.
No.
So let's switch over to Duncan now.
Well, and we could switch over to me, but before that, I do want to say I have noticed with Austin, and this kind of does tie into me as well. So with coming over to work with y'all, you know, my parents don't understand the media space as much. And you know, my brother's an actor, but that's traditional TV. They don't understand this whole new media realm, and they were iffy about me. You know, I mean, I'm 31 years old. It's not like they had any control on it, but they still worry about me, you know, and they're like, you're going over this media company. Like, are you sure? Are you this or that? And I told them a bunch of different stuff about working with Lone Wolf and AWAS and everything. But one thing I did bring up was like, look, you know how I know this company's going to do well? It's already doing well, but how it's going to eventually go big? So they got this guy, Austin. You seen him on the podcast. He's a big guy in the chair.
Whoa.
And I
Don't get his
said-
head too big now. Like,
So,
he's
and
looking
I
over here
said,
like,
Austin.
turn off the head.
Rightfully so a little bit. But I said, you know, Austin, and I told him the story about the crane company. I didn't have that many details. I had a good bit from what I heard you say on the podcast before, and I was like, everything he touches seems to turn to gold. And he saw Nick on this job site, and he saw something there, and now it's been taken off like crazy. It already was, but now even more.
I'll put it
and
to
I
you
was
like
like, if
this.
Austin sees that vision,
Well-
I'm inclined to trust him.
So look, I'll put it to you like this. There's not a lot of people that think the same way that Austin does. And, you know, I'll throw this out here. I can say that me and Austin even think the same way on a lot of things, like on from a
Some
business.
things.
Some
Let's-
things.
let's-
Yeah.
Hold on, he's got some wild shit. We're not gonna go that
I got
far.
some wild shit.
We're-
Y'all both like the experience,
like,
not the
Listen,
food.
I actually go to a restaurant for the fucking food. I'm just gonna be honest.
But like-
Straight up, okay. Now you
from like a business standpoint of things, right? Whenever we have an idea or something, you know, we chasing it, we running for it, we going for it and stuff. So I will say like that, as far as that being shit, I forgot where I was even going with that.
Damn, dog.
You got the ideas that he has. What were we going with that?
Well, no, I think.
I really forgot where I was going with
Well,
it.
no, it's
honestly.
probably what you were gonna say is probably the same thing I just said a while ago. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people.
Well, that
Listen, you know we've said this numerous times, but even Bo said it the last time he was on the thing. Look, you surround yourself with a bunch of crackheads and dope dealers. Guess what? You're probably gonna be dealing dope and crack.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, that's what it. I mean,
true.
listen.
I'm sorry. That's where I was. I'm glad you.
I
said,
know.
yeah,
I know
right,
that.
right.
See, look.
So look, it's the
share a
people
brain
that,
cell, man.
I know, right? Fuck, I gotta check myself. But it's more along the lines of, like he's saying, like it's just being successful and not really. I guess I'm trying to put in a manner where I'm not saying it in a harsh way. I guess
but no,
it's like it's more like it's just the mindset of, you know, of what's actually gonna work and what's actually gonna succeed and what's actually there. Not everybody has that understanding, right? Like not everybody's willing to take that risk. Not everybody's willing to say to give, you know, give you that even that opportunity to be like, yeah, let's try this. Let's see if it's gonna work. Austin thinks like me, where he's like, yeah, let's fucking try this. Let's try something. You know, let's put ourselves out there. Not everybody is on that same level.
well, you know what it is. People try too much to
They
try
want to
to
be safe.
Well, no, they it's almost they over engineer it. They try to figure out all the ways to how to achieve a dream and keep chasing it, but never actually start the chase.
Correct.
Never actually initiate. Listen, if you ain't gonna take the leap or you ain't gonna take the chance, you'll never know. If you ain't look, if you're scared, look, business ain't for the weak. If you're scared to take the jump or take chances, look, there was many sleepless nights. Look, I am just getting to the point where I can kind of sit back a little bit and kind of, you know, navigate these different avenues and different business ventures and different things, because now I have the trusted people underneath me to know that, hey, they can run this company. If I'm not here for this day, they can everything will still function without me, you know, being in the office. Look, beforehand, I was on the job day to day, getting all dirty and shit. And I'm not saying I won't go bust my ass again out there with them, but it kind of held me back a little bit, where I was so focused on just immediately that job instead of where can I go find a bigger picture of work. So look, in the last 6 months to 8 months, I've opened up so many different new avenues to where it's like, wow, I stepped back and I'm like, damn, I would have never seen this if I wouldn't have taken the leap to put these things in place to where I could actually say, damn, this is the bigger picture. This is what I need to do. Or look at this opportunity. And look, we've come across, and he knows some of the stuff I'm talking about, but so many opportunities come up and it's like, man, big things are coming and it's kind of wild, but I was kind of, look, it's kind of like horses. You put blinders on them to keep them running in one direction. That's kind of how it was. I was just blinded. You take the blinders off, you can kind of say, oh shit, look what's happening.
I'll even say going along with that too is like one thing that I noticed too is it actually makes me want to do better. And I would even say probably for him too, makes him want to do better. Cause like he'll come and say like, hey Nick, we just got this or whatever, got this badass thing. I'm like, well, fuck, nah, I need to do something badass to keep up with him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking like, we need to fucking get something going too. Like, what's the next thing that I gotta do? Or then we talk and, we're talking like what, 10 o'clock at night sometimes or whatever time we talk. And we just, what ideas you got? How can we start making some money off of this? We got another idea in the works that we're trying to make happen right now that we just haven't been able to really sit down, but just because we have so many other things going on, right? But no, I mean, I'm on the same level with you there. I agree 100%. It's hard whenever you can't look at the bigger picture and you just constantly worried about the day-to-day, the operations. You gotta be able to sit back and trust your people to be able to look at the bigger picture and actually be able to grow. Because you'll never grow if you're just chasing your tail all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I had to break myself from not going outside going into the field on these jobs. Like, look, for most of our stuff, you got to wear the steel toes and all the stuff. I used to wear that every day. Steel toes, all the clothes, the different things. Said I'd come to the gym and work out. I'd stay out of my workout stuff until about lunchtime, just so I knew I wouldn't go on the damn job because I'd want to go.
Well, and then like
Well,
even
sometimes
when,
it's
even,
those little mental
well,
tricks
no,
you
it was
gotta
kind of
do.
like, look, it was
Also.
hard for me. Look, I couldn't break it. I was like, man, I gotta go check on this, and I'm like, you know what? No. Finally, I broke it to where I'm like, no, I gotta trust in my people. If I can't trust in my people, then what do you have? You don't have anything.
That's what I was about to say. Like, yeah, that even me being around, like just being around him and stuff, he's helped me out in tremendous ways like that. Like just giving me like little tidbits of things that he learned lessons that I don't necessarily have to learn the hard way now. You know how hard it was for me to let go of a lot of the things that I let Brant control now or that I let y'all do now and that I just kind of look over it. And sometimes I don't even look over it now because I trust y'all that y'all did what y'all gonna do right. And sometimes that bites me in the ass. It bit me in the ass today.
Did you mean to actually say that you're gonna pass the hat to Brant? Brant, you get a hat
No,
just like Nick now.
Brant gets a hat.
I'm not saying all
you
that.
get to wear his crusty hat.
All I'm saying is
Says Louisiana, just smaller.
but like a lot of those things though, we probably really wouldn't be as successful and at the point we are if I wouldn't have saw some of those things and took some of that advice and been like, hey, maybe he's right. Like maybe I do need to step back and fucking trust Brant to do what he needs to do because I'm fucking on his ass like grass and that's not what he needs right now or vice versa, whatever it may be, or Jenna or whoever, whoever we talking about. And it makes me realize I'm like, shit, all right. And then even with the things he's doing, he's talking about he downplayed it, but I'll just give y'all a quick rundown before we break over to you, and we can break over to you after so we can get your thing in. But Austin has a really big company from California out right now doing his stuff and helping him out with his things, and they really are making this company roll in just a lot clearer, better way just because they are what they are, like basically like a logistics or like
it's like a consulting firm, but they basically
they just got their shit together. Like they
instill like look, and this consultant's been here for pretty much damn near 6 months.
Oh yeah, I was about to say 6
and look,
months.
He's pretty much here every 5 days a week.
He's here right now. It's
5 days a week,
6:30 and
months.
He's typing at the computer right now.
But
in that office
look, it don't come cheap, but look, don't get me wrong. Is it worth it? Hell yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you, it has changed drastically. I mean, look, beforehand, you're going through some of these procedures and stuff, and you kind of just going through the motions, so to say. And now it's kind of like everything we're kind of calculating everything.
We left money on the table here. We left money on the table there.
Dude, like listen, we figured out that. I mean, look, what they do is they point out ways of kind of what they call the blood wall, where you're bleeding out money, where you could be saving money if you just tweak these few things.
So he's updating your processes and structure.
Correct.
Yes. Well, no, you're right.
We've been implementing. That's what I'm saying. We've
No,
been.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm talking
implementing
it's
the
crazy.
same thing.
Look,
Since day one, that's all I've been talking to Nick about: processes and structure.
It really is
processes
crazy.
and structure.
And at first, it was kind of like I'm thinking like, all I kept thinking is like, damn man, it's about to cost me a lot of money. Which don't get me wrong, it is.
It's hard to make them processes and structure
but-
whenever you fucking worried about the fucking operations every day.
Exactly.
When you
that's why
worried
you
ab- when,
delegated
you know,
it to me.
for the future, it's gonna be a great thing.
Mm-hmm. And breaking it down like that can make the difference. I mean, I'm not going to get too into detail, but with our pricing for advertising and filming
Same thing.
things, he was like, well, are you sure we're not overcharging if we go up on our prices a little bit and this, that, and the other? So what I did, me and Brant, is we broke down every single thing that we offer. And we did market research on what other people are charging for those things. And we made a pricing sheet based off of that. Showed Nick the pricing. He's like, are you sure that's not too much? I pulled up the sheet. Said, Nick, look at this. What on this sheet do you want to not charge for? What do you want to give away for free? And he's like, oh, well, okay, well, not that. Well, not that. Okay, well, not that. And then when he looked at it and saw once it's broken down and you see every little thing, it's
I'll
like,
put it like this: we were leaving a lot of money on the table.
yeah.
Well, you will. And look, we'll do work for some big companies, and it's crazy. A lot of the big name national, they'll come back and say things like, "Well, man, that price is kind of high," and I'm like, that's crazy to say because
What's your standard?
y'all are. Well, no, my thing is like you're a big company and you're judging me on my price being too high. But in the same aspect, it's like, okay, you demand that I'm only going to get paid in 90 days. So I got to wait for my money, but then I got to cut back on my price. So it's all one side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't value your actual service. Like, look, if you want somebody cheap, hell, go get a go. I mean, look, and look, I'm not the one to talk shit, but go. This one company got another company out instead of us because they went the cheap route. These dudes showed up in flip-flops and shorts and shit to run a crane. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
That's fine. Listen, if you want to go that route because you want it cheap, good. But if you want to come to me because you're looking for just the cheap guy, I'm not your guy.
Well, and it's
You're
just
going to get
the
a quality
logic,
service and you're going to get a safe service.
and it's just the logic of how much it costs to do your work.
Well, whenever you
because
do-
like with us with the filming thing, if you were to tell a company like, okay, if you don't like our price, go hire a cameraman individually, hire someone to direct and film, rent the cameras,
You're going to spend a lot of
pay
money.
them hourly. It's going to be 20 times what we charge. Do
somebody
you
edit.
still think have
But-
somebody edit it, which is his
People
own
take
charge?
it for granted.
You think it'll
They take
still
it for granted.
we're still overpriced? And they go, oh well, no, you're charging so many thousand. They were charging tens and tens of thousands. Like,
Well,
do you see
I'm
why?
thinking about his aspect and things, and like the way that he mitigates that is whenever you rent a crane from them, you rent it for the whole day. So the problem with that other company that he's talking about is they tried to do it, but they charging these cheap prices or whatever. They charging these cheap prices. Now they trying to pick up another job that day, so they trying to leave that job and go to the next job. So
And
they
it
can do that.
interferes,
You
yeah.
ain't gonna,
Well, let
you
me
ain't
tell
gonna
you a
have
little
those
story.
problems whenever you use a professional crane
Mhm.
company that has the availability to rent a crane out to you all day. And,
Well, let me
know what I
tell you a
mean?
little story, and this is kind of happening to reflect that. So what happened was they had a company was using us. Well, look, since this process of us figuring out different rates and stuff, we figured out we weren't as profitable on these jobs, on one of these jobs.
And hey, look, and we saying all this, I just want everybody to realize too, we don't claim that we know 100% and we 1,000,000% on that we are correct on everything that
Mhm.
we do. At the end of the day, we learn too, and we admit
yeah.
that we learn and that we
Right.
growing.
No,
we growing.
listen, it's a
Right?
it's
It's
a
an
growing process.
growing
I mean, it's
process.
not, and we figuring out that hey, by calculating where we can, look, actually on this one, we actually lost money charging this, even though it doesn't sound like you would, but you actually figured out, damn, we lost $100 on this. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
So we went up on the rates. Well, one of the company, that we put trailers up for, he got kind of agitated and like, oh well, man, I mean, this is what y'all quoted me. I'm gonna find somebody else. Got pissed. He got okay. Guess what? We went ahead and find somebody else. Okay. So we marked up a couple $1,000s on a job to at least make a profit. And it wasn't even a big profit still. It's still a small profit at the end of the day off that one job. Well, I said, okay. I said, one of my sales guys, he was kind of, oh man, I can't believe it. I said, no, listen, sometimes you got to let it play out. I I said, you're not gonna go over there. No, he wants to go find somebody else. Let him find somebody else. Let it play out. It always ends up working out. So we did. We left them alone. They went get another company. Guess what? They paid twice as much as what if they just paid our regular
Every
price.
time.
So you know what? I was
Every
almost like,
time.
oh, next time it's gonna be this much. But see, my point is, he said, I'm just it's so easy to go get another crane. You know what the crane did? They cut our throat by saying, hey, we're gonna charge you this rate, and they charged double because they weren't prepared enough to do. Listen, we do these every day. They come down and they said, oh, we could do this. It took them 3 days to do
Don't have a
one
spreader
thing.
bar.
And-
It
and-
took them 3 days to do the same job we did in a few hours.
And that's what I say about our filming stuff. Go hire a company. Like, you don't want to work with us? Go ahead. Go hire the next company you can find. It's going to be someone in New Orleans. They're going to charge for the full day. They're going to send out a full crew that they don't need.
I thought you was about to say go find somebody else. They gonna hire the next marketing company in Thibodeau, and then they just gonna hire us.
Yeah, pretty much. But
That's
they'll go
crazy.
out there.
That's crazy.
And those people are going to say, well, you have to schedule it 2 months ahead of time. We're going to get out there. You'll get the footage back 3 months from now. And it's going to be a thing like that. It's not going to have the quick turnaround that we offer. It's not going to have the personalized stuff that we offer. You're going to go there and you're going to find out it's 10 times the price for half the product. And it's like, what happens? You had customers leave before. I'm not getting any stories, but you've had customers leave before, and then they come back later like, hey, so
you know what's
you
crazy?
still want to
though?
work with me?
But let me say
Every
this.
time.
I've ever come to y'all and said, man, that look, I never balked at your price. When you told me you shout out the number, I said,
Almost
okay.
wish I would have shot at him, but now.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
thinking-
He fucked up. Hey, no. Whoa.
Austin
Time out,
ain't
guys.
never, Austin ain't never questioned a fucking
No,
thing.
I
So
didn't
Austin's,
listen.
Austin's agreeing with this
No,
on
no.
here. We got it on
No,
camera.
I didn't
Bump them
listen. I
prices.
didn't question nothing. Listen, I said, okay. But you know why? I'm not in the marketing business. I don't know how much and what I do now.
Mhm.
I didn't know at the time how much cameras cost. I didn't know what.
Those are
the-
$5 million a
about to say-
camera. Just so you
No,
know.
I
about to
already
say,
know.
I know now. No, he's
I
like,
know what the
no.
cameras cost, guys. Trust me, I
He
know.
knows what it costs.
I know what they cost. Now I know. I'm saying beforehand, I didn't know what cameras cost. I didn't know what none of this shit cost. I wasn't in the marketing business. Okay? So I don't know. So I'm not going to tell this man, oh, well, that sounds expensive. Compared to what? I don't have no comparison. How are you going to tell me that crane? Okay, did you get a quote from another company? Well, no, it just sounds high. I mean, what? I don't even understand what that means.
Go get a quote from.
Go
another
get a
company
quote and then you tell
me.
me, because guess what? Well, man, I can't believe we just right around the corner. You're charging mow fees. Listen, if I have a flat on that crane, a tire is almost $3,000 a piece.
Jeez.
So listen, a little bitty mow fee don't even cover the damaged tire that I had a flat on.
What really burns me is whenever we have like local companies from around here and they looking for something that we offer, right?
Go out of town.
And they go out of town and they'll go use like a agency out of Houston or an agency out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we like, hey guys, like, can we at least have a shot at this? Like, y'all don't have to use this, but at least give us a shot. Let us at least quote you out. And like, the only reason I even bring that up because I just had that instance with one of my buddies. His family owns a pretty big company with quite a few locations, and I was just like, this was a big bid that they spend in marketing every year, and I was just like, look, like y'all ain't gotta use us, but just give us a shot, like just let us at least give you a quote. You know what I mean? What is it gonna hurt? Y'all getting this other company, y'all checking them out and like vetting them and seeing if y'all gonna use them, and y'all willing to fly on planes and go travel all the way to another state to do that, but you're not willing to at least let this kid that's a town over to give you an estimate. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's all I want. All I want is a shot. And if they would if they would actually like have those conversations and talk and let us provide them a quote, I guarantee you they would probably use us more than the other person.
Oh, 100%.
And I guarantee your prices would be way better because
Mhm.
they would go from spending almost $1 million in marketing a year to, I could probably tell you that we would probably be like I wouldn't say half that, but I would say probably
Mhm.
like 75 to.
And every
60%
time
of that.
that they do leave and they find somebody with a comparable price, and like, oh, I found a company in California that's the same price, and they work hard for like 1 week.
And then
And
then boom, they drop them and they don't say nothing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's
you
that
ain't gonna get
impression.
down
Get
with
what you
us.
paid for.
They do that impression
Mhm.
stage where they just kind of try to,
Oh, yeah.
they sugarcoat it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
and you ain't ever gonna get that with us. We don't leave nobody hanging. If anything, we let our clients know, and we tell them, hey, this is what it is. This is what we do. This is what you get. And then I'm real with my clients too. If a client is coming at us and saying, this isn't working or this isn't working. All right, you want me to tell you why it isn't working? Well, it isn't working because we just made you a video and you telling me that you don't like nothing about this video, but this is what we think as a professional agency will catch people's attention and will get somebody to come and watch your video because in those first 3 seconds, we have to capture their attention. But you're coming at me and you're telling me, no, people aren't going to like this video. Okay, well, we don't post videos every week that get multiple thousands and thousands of views. We don't know what people want to watch. You're right.
Hey, you want me to tell you a kind of crazy story? This is not on the same subject, but I had to tell you the story because it did happen this afternoon. And it was kind of wild. So this was kind of an employee story, so to say. Actually, an ex-employee story. So, and this is kind of why I always say, and I kind of, will preach it to some of the guys. I'm like, look, you got to, I'm not telling you what to do, but you got to stay humble and realize what you got in this particular job or whatever it may be, or even myself. I live by this too. I don't try to get all crazy and kind of, I guess they get too comfortable where I'm at because look, things always come back full circle. And what I mean by that, look, I had a guy, okay, when we were switching from the rentals to the cranes, he was a truck driver for me, CDL driver. This guy, look, he had a job. He was okay at the time. Turns out, obviously, he ain't worth the fuck of a driver now because, he went through 6 companies and they all fired him. But anyway, I'll tell you that story in a second. So, look, he had a steady job. Well, he comes, Lloyd comes today and says, hey, your boy's downstairs. I said, oh, my God, really? I said, okay. So I go downstairs and say, hey, man. I said, what's up? Oh, man, I need a job. I was like, oh, really? You do? I said, I do want to point out. I said, I never fired you back in the day. I said, you quit. And you kind of left me in a bind when you quit. I said, that was kind of wild. I said, you had a steady
I know that's
job.
how I probably said it too. Like
No,
that.
I did. I said,
Exactly.
I said,
That's kinda wild.
I said, that's kind of wild. You had a steady job and but I didn't know what the future was going to hold. I said, well, guess what? Future's pretty bright, my guy. We're kind of growing this thing pretty rapidly. I said, you'd probably still be here. And I pumped it up. He probably wouldn't have. But he fucks some shit up. He does. He's
oh shit, they're coming after Austin now, boy.
Oh, he can?
No, I'm talking about the comments.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
Don't you tell that employee he could have a job, and then you really don't mean that?
No, I didn't tell him he could have a job. No, straight up. Listen.
No, I'm saying
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I know that. Oh, that's what
comments.
they're gonna say. Yeah. No. So look, you know what he tells me? Man, but yeah, I mean a job. And yeah, Lloyd kind of said you were kind of, butthurt a little bit about the last thing that happened, when I quit on it. I said, whoa, I'm not mad about it. I said, I think it's kind of wild you come into my office and begging for a job when you quit the job that you're begging for again. I said, that's wild. That's a wild place to be. I've never seen this. The first for me. I've never seen this happen before. I said, but yeah, I'm not hiring. I said, man, I really can't help you. I said, but damn, I thought you were working on all these companies. Oh, well, man, that other company, they some assholes. This other company, this some assholes. He listed
Which I
6
bet you
companies.
he said about you when you went there.
Oh, yeah. He listed 6 companies. I said, damn.
It's a lot of assholes.
That's, damn.
If it tends to be, and I'm saying this
Look.
right now, but look, I'll call my own self crazy, but I'm gonna say if it's a continuous thing.
Well,
it's
duh.
probably,
Duh.
person
Listen,
and not-
if
Bit of a
every
pattern
one of
there.
those companies says this dude fucks up some shit, he's probably fucking up some shit. So I was like, yeah, bro, look, I'll let you know if I got something for you, but I don't have nothing for you right now.
It's like the dude saying I was too smart to work at Hooters. You just can't believe that shit.
Well, look, we went over time. We already have Duncan's story from a previous
Yeah,
episode.
I had my own episode.
Look,
Okay.
if somebody wants to know Duncan's story, what episode it was, like episode, I would say like 7 or 8 or something, like 6 or 7,
No.
Oh,
God.
no, it's-
Duncan has a previous episode if you want to know about his life and what he got going on. Me and Austin, I'm sure this
oh, we're gonna have some more talks.
Yeah.
we'll
Just,
have some more
You'll
talks.
catch
and
me on the
stuff,
next
but,
one.
we just kind of wanted to, throw this episode out there, give one for y'all with just the host and kind of let y'all know where we at and what we doing. And I guess we didn't really talk about the future, but I guess the future is what it's going to be.
They'll get to see us do a couple more things, just us coming up soon.
Yeah, actually, we
Oof,
do have some
oof.
exciting things coming
Yeah,
up.
it's gonna be
So
wild.
we won't even talk about that. We'll just release it whenever we release it. Well, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yep.